So today, as always, we're going to do the last season summary real quick here before the September season starts. See what I went up against in my games and what sort of stuff we saw on the ladder. So getting right into it here, we do have the faction distribution. Now, as I always say at the start of these, this is just what I experienced on the ladder. It does not necessarily represent the ladder, but I just think it's fun to look at. So, in my games, we played 27% Nilfgaard, basically 28%. I think this is always the highest number still. 21% monsters. Big monsters boost here. A lot of this is due to, I think, the Death Wish Golden Necker deck that got popular. Pretty fun deck, actually. I really enjoyed that one when I made the Ruin version. Then we have these Skellige decks here. Much higher than normal, I think. 19% is pretty high for Skellige. And this is what we mostly saw, just variations of Pirates, variations of Onslaught, and variations of Raids. Then we had, Scoia'tael next at 12%. Just a whole bunch of different precision strike decks, I think. Again, not too much. No, one deck really stood out to me super popular for this faction, but Scoia'tael is usually pretty low. Northern Realms is pretty low too, 11.5%, 12%. I think this is mostly the Golden Necker Shield Wall stuff with the 5-power Griffin Witcher Depths. So that's kind of interesting to see. Then we have 9% Syndicate. These decks were... Well, Acherontia and Open Sesame and all those decks kind of completely disappeared. But there was some compensation in terms of the other decks that made an appearance instead. Quite a bit of your Fallen Knight spam. Just everything was Fallen Knights, basically, in some type of form. But this is what I saw. Nothing surprising here. Pretty normal distributions. Let's get into the decks themselves. So let's begin with monsters. The most popular monster deck, was Monsters, Golden Necker, Death Wish, followed by Renfri Vampires. I was really surprised to see there were 7 of these. That's quite a few. I don't remember being so many. Then we have Renfri Koshé, Mid-Range Fruits, pretty common. Then we got Arrakis Swarm, not Tatterwing, just plain Arrakis Swarm. And then Monsters Frost. Now, these were Glusty Warp decks, the Arrakis Swarm. So pretty interesting distribution here. Seeing all of the decks here. A lot of Renfri. Right, 2 big Renfri decks here, and then the Golden Necker Death Wish, and that's pretty similar. Not too surprising, but interesting to see. On to Nilfgaard, and this should tell you, because the Nilfgaard decks had a lot of variety. And by variety, I mean we have Assimilate Renfri, we have Soldier Renfri, we have Bandit Renfri, we have Imprisonment Renfri, and Albrecht Hyperthin Renfri. I obviously just read off all the Renfri ones here, just because there's so many different ones. But so we have Assimilate. I separated Assimilate Henry and Shoop Assimilate. You can combine these. The reason I have them separated is because I have a neutral tab where I look at the neutral packages. And for that purpose, I need to have them separate. So if you add these together, I think the Henry decks just about tie up here. Assimilate Renfri, Enslave Assimilate is the most popular one. Absolutely no surprise with that one. Then Enslave Assimilate Ivo right next to it. Soldier Shoop, this was a pretty common deck 2 seasons ago, not so much now. Soldier Renfri, not surprising. Illusionist, Knife Juggler spam. I saw a bunch of those Knife Juggler decks, as in 3. Did I forget this one? Imposter Control Renfri. This one just spams out a ton of locks and locks everything. Then we have the Nilfgaard Cultist, still showing strongly up here. Renfri Bandits, this is just Bandits. It's like the Knife Juggler spam, but without the Knife Juggler spam from the artifacts. We have Imprisonment Renfri, Hyperthin Renfri, and Nilfgaardian Knights. We saw 2 of those. I wanted to make a deck for this. We'll probably try to do that next season. So overall, we have a Double Cross Renfri deck, an Imposter Renfri deck, Imperial Formation Renfri deck, this is also Imposter, Imprisonment Renfri deck, and a Tactical Decision Renfri deck. So of these 6 Nilfgaard leaders, I think there are 6, might be 7. I think there's 6. We saw 5 of them having a showing here with a Renfri deck. Very impressive. For Northern Realms, so Northern Realms, this is actually Northern Realms Knights was the majority here. Interesting. I guess that makes sense. I just don't really take note of Knights when I play them, because they're a pretty linear deck. They always do the exact same thing. But so we have Inspired Zeal Siege down here. Pincer Maneuver, Traveling Priestess Renfri down here. Golden Necker Shield Walls here, and then Northern Realms Knights. So Northern Realms Knights was the big one. 7th, quite a bit of polarization here. But again, it wasn't a super popular faction in my games, so I guess that makes sense. Looking at Skellige here, most popular deck was Onslaught Pirates. No surprise there. There's a whole bunch of variants of this. You have like Compass, you've got Yelmar Seawolf got tried out. But yeah, overall, really popular. Then the next most popular deck was Patricidal Fury Raid Warrior. Again, I'm not surprised by that. That deck's always popular whenever it's not getting nerfed. Then we have a new deck showing up here, the Otkel Quad Freya's Blessing deck. So this deck, actually, I think you can get up to, I think it's 4 is the cap. I think it's quad. Now this deck's just, you play all the thinning cards, you play Freya's Blessing, create Freya's Blessing with whatever you can, Triss Telekinesis, try to get it off Rune Mage, and then you just play Otkel with 4 Freya's Blessings on things like your ships and your Demon Smugglers and all that stuff to win round 3. A really popular deck. I've always been waiting for some, I've been waiting ever since we've played Rain with Otkel quite a bit. I've always been waiting for someone to figure out how to break Otkel with something, because replaying all the copies, it's like Simloss, it's always really good. But this one we saw a lot more. We saw all these at higher MMRs, I should say. Then we have the Lippy Shoop, Beast Renfri, no surprise, and then a new one also, Combi Constructs. Now, this I saw twice, so this is a list of decks we saw more than once, because there's a lot of unique one-of decks. But Combi Constructs is an interesting one. This deck, I think may just have been the same person twice, I don't remember. But what it did was it would play Fukusha, so it would play Combi twice, and just Combi your hand repeatedly, and then play the Construct package. It was kind of funny. On to Scoia'tael, like I said, I don't remember anything in particular here. We have Precision Strike, Renfri, Dragons. Always, I think this deck's always going to be here. Precision Strike, Renfri, so this is just the same as this deck, just without the Dragon package. Like Geralts and Eskils and stuff instead of the Dragons. Then we have Symbiosis, non-devotion obviously. Movement, Golden Necker, fairly common still. And then Max, Bountiful Harvest spam. This was the same guy twice, I'm fairly certain. But what this deck is you just try and make as many Bountiful Harvests as possible. You Megascope the Double-Thana Sorceress and just constantly make Double-Thana Sorceresses. Try to make more Sorceresses, and then try and have them make Bountiful Harvests. And then you play Simloss with like 6 or... Not Simloss. You just try and play them all. This isn't the Simloss one where you put them back in the deck with Alyssa. This is just make as many as possible. Then for Syndicate, we only saw 3 decks more than once, which are Bounty, Igor, Fallen Knight, Spam. This is a really annoying deck that got popular this season because Fallen Knight's just a broken card with its current stat line. And then we have Firesworn Crimes, also just playing Fallen Knights. Just no Igor in this one. So, quite annoying decks here, but not too many. And Bounty, as always, is going to be here. So overall, the top, I think this is 14, because I cut it off at the ties. So 4 or more. These are the most popular ones we saw were, we have, oops, probably scroll down a little bit. Deathwish Golden Necker Monsters, Onslaught Pirates, Vampire Renfri, Northern Realms Knights, Patricidal Raid Warriors, Enslave Assembly, Renfri Koshé, Soldier Renfri, Imposter Renfri, and Nilfgaard Cultist. So quite the lineup there. Quite the lineup indeed. So, I guess that'll do it for this. Let's move on to the leaders. So, most popular leaders. This is the tab I actually find the most interesting, because what I'd like to see ideally is to see a balance across all of these, at least all of them getting played. So it kind of informs all the buffs and nerfs ideas, I think. So for monsters, we have most populars, Overwhelming Hunger. So a lot of this is the Golden Necker Deathwish deck, but also just a ton of just one-of decks playing, like triple 2-go or something play this. Although those are Carapace too, so not this season. That's a lot of stuff in here. Blood Scent, just Vampires, Renfri plus non-Renfri. Fruits, mid-range, normal stuff. A couple Frost decks. One of these Frost decks was not a Frost deck. It was a Glusty Warp deck, which was interesting. Rocket Storm, 2 normal, 1 Tatterwing. A couple Force of Natures. And then we have 1 Carapace, which is a triple something deck. And Keltilis. So interesting. I don't think Overwhelming Hunger is usually the highest one here, but it's been climbing up recently. So that's interesting. For Northern Realms, we're looking at... this is not my favorite color, blue. Maybe I'll change that. That's a random thought for today. So we've got the most common is Royal Inspiration. All these are Northern Realms Knights. Then we have Shield Wall and Pincer Maneuver for various stuff, Inspired Zeal, and then a Stockpile and Uprising Mobilization. This Uprising, I think, was a Renfri deck, which is awesome. And then we have Mobilization for Reavers. This isn't too surprising to me. Inspired Zeal got some of its cards nerfed, so it's pretty low. But I think it's just Royal Inspiration Knights. Like, Knights are just always the same. It's always the same deck. You'll keep playing it. It'll be the same. Moving on to Scoia'tael. We've got Precision Strike taking the lead here. Just all the control here. So much control this season from Scoia'tael in particular. Well, actually, not just Scoia'tael. There's just a lot of control in general. Then we have Guerrilla Tactics. Not really Harmony. This is more of the movement decks. Although I did see, I think, one Shuru deck. Then we have Nature's Gift, Deadeye Ambush for the Heist Waylays, and Invigorate for hand buff Renfri. But as you can see, the reversions to the Water of Broccolon buff didn't do anything really for Harmony, it seems. I like that it's at 9, and I think it should be at 9. It's fun. I've played a lot of Harmony myself, but I didn't see a single other Harmony player this season. So it appears that once that was all the big buffs were reverted, no one wanted to play it anymore. What a shock. And then didn't see a single Dwarf deck either, Mahakam Forge. These, I like, the thing with the Forge, I think the Dwarves are okay. The Hall of Harmony also thinks, well, Hall of Harmony, what is that? Call of Harmony is also interesting. Like, these decks didn't see it all, but doesn't mean they're bad. We'll have to take a look. And then moving on to Skellige. Oh yeah, my favorite graph here. It's always like this, isn't it? So we have 17 Patricidal Furies, 11 Onslaughts, and 3 Rage of the Seas, and 1 of these, and that's it. So this is obviously a problem, in my opinion. I don't know if anyone else thinks this is a problem or not. But Patricidal Fury here, it just goes with everything, right? If you want to play just a big extra charge in round 3, you can use your 2 charges early. If you want to just play with Sove, you've got the Sove options. Just very good. Then we have Onslaught, just all different pirate stuff. And then just Rage of the Seas. This is for Renfri beasts and things. No battle trances. No crows were popular this season, it seems. And no Earthstain Rituals. Okay, this one always bothers me. Earthstain Ritual Self-Wound is a good deck, but no one wants to play it. But yeah, I don't like this. These two are way too high. We compare it to like Precision Strike and Guerrilla Tactics, they're a lot higher, right? On the chart, right? 8 and 7. But look at this. This is like 17 and 11 versus 3. There's so much difference. The Skellige, it just seems all anyone wants to ever do is buff things that play Patricidal Fury and buff Onslaught with the Pirates. Which, whatever. For Nilfgaard, we actually saw all of them used, which is nice. So we have the most popular one is Turned into Imposter. Now this is interesting to me. A lot of decks that are hyper reliant on a combo or setup use this. So Cultists use this because, I mean, they just use it. And then you have all the stuff of the Knife Jugglers use it to give copies and get copies back of the opponent's stuff. This took over as the most popular one, which I didn't see coming, so I find this interesting. Double Cross for all the Assimilates. Imprisonment, Enslave, Imperial Formation, all the same. Then to Santoi Hospitality and Tactical Decision. So this one actually is interesting. Nilfgaard's got a lot more evened out, which is kind of cool. And for Syndicate, it's just all Line Pockets and Blood Money. Blood Money is because I have Golden Necker separate from regular Bounty on the decks, because for the neutral packages, I have to have them separate to extract the data. Then we have Line Pockets taking over, and there's 1 of each of these. And no off the books, no hidden cache. I don't think I've ever seen a hidden cache No, I think we saw 1 hidden cache while we've been recording these videos. But overall, it gives us the lineup of the most popular leaders in the game. That I see in my games, I should say. Hopefully you guys remember I said that in the beginning. Which are Patricidal Fury, Overwhelming Hunger, Imposter, Onslaught, Blood Scent, Double Cross, Precision Strike, Inspiration, Guerrilla Tactics, Imprisonment, Enslave, Formation, and Line Pockets. Which is, I mean, Patricidal Fury is obviously an outlier, but the rest of this seems pretty even, all things considered. So for least popular, one day I want this chart to have things that's not zeros across some of them, but it's just 0 and 1s for now. So no Call of Harmony, no Forge, no Battle Trance, no Restrain Ritual, no Off the Books, no Hidden Cache. Then we got the 1-ups, Carapace, Stockpile. Stockpile is interesting to me. Stockpile Siege I tried out and seems pretty good still. 1 Uprising, 1 Mobilization, 1 Invigorate, 1 Reckless Flurry, 1 Blaze of Glory. This one surprised me. And then Pirate's Cove, just 1 of as well. So those are the decks. This will be interesting though. Deck types. So this is usually dominated by engine and point engine and midrange. If we look at it now, it's still 26% engine, 25% midrange, but control up to 20%. 20% of our opponents are just playing heavy control decks. And then another 18% are just playing like some type of combo, or if the combo goes off, you lose. So a lot of polarization here. The control decks try and stop the combo and engine decks, and you just have the mid-range in between, and like no point slam. Point slam's just kind of all gone into mid-range at this point. No one really plays pure point slam. Not no one. You still have some point slam stuff, like so you still see some spotter spams, you still see some ogroids, but mostly we're in these other brackets. A lot more control than usual though. Like getting all of our engines killed made making some of these meme decks we tried to build hard. But yeah. And lastly, well actually second to last here, we have the neutral packages. So let's take a look here. This is the percentages of our games. So 26% of our games were against Renfri decks. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like a problem to me. And it might just be my games, which is why we're going to say that here. It might just be our games. So 26, 1-4 is against Renfri. Makes it really boring, to be honest. No one played any bombs, so that's kind of surprising to me. Couple construct percentages, couple dragon percentages. 13 golden necker percents, actually that's 12%, and then like 5% shoop. But yeah. So overall, I think it's overall 47% of our games were against a neutral focus strategy. Which I mean, it's a lot, to be honest. It is a lot. Yeah, it is just a lot. Now, some of these aren't as oppressive as others, like Renfri. You have a whole set of package of neutrals that go with Renfri every time. Same thing for the dragons and constructs. Shoop can be played in a lot of different ways, where it's like just Shoop Redea, then it's 1-ups. So it's not as neutral focused, always. Then Golden Necker, you can play with a bunch of stuff. But yeah. Main takeaway here is 1-4 games are against Renfri. I try and cut those out from the videos. You guys don't get to see them repeated over and over, but that's what it is. Let me know what you guys think. If this seems right to you, or are we just lucky with the quote-unquote lucky with our Renfri games? But anyway, last things last, we can't forget our favorite, the emote spammers and disconnectors. A little bit less than I was hoping for, because it's always funny to talk about this. We have the 1 Pirate's Cove collusion player disconnected on us. It's also the most likely thing that I would forget to enter in the spreadsheet is a disconnector. Let's point that out there. I've probably forgotten 1 or 2 of these guys. Then we have the bounty. One of our bounty players disconnected. Let's see if I remember what happened here. Cove collusion. I think we were playing Passiflora and we had like 3 Slice Seductresses out, and then he went for the collusion, Sigi, and didn't get enough points. I think that's what happened in that one. Bounty, I don't remember the bounty disconnector. I don't remember. And then we had the Witch's Sabbath Infinite Dagon combo player disconnected on us once he played his Dagon in the wrong row. That was full. So that was great. And then last here, we have the 3 emote spammers. Let's see who spammed emotes at us this season. Well, it was the 1 Stockpile Siege player. I think he won. He's like way ahead and just spammed emotes while timing out his turns. And we had the Renfri Bandits. Now, this is the same guy. We played him twice, I think. And both times, he spent the whole game emote spamming at us and lost both times. So that's it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I always find these interesting. Let me know if you guys have any of your own information. It's always interesting to compare what other people see on the ladder. And we'll see you next time. That'll be it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Make sure that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. And you can check out some more videos over here. And thanks for watching.